welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I posted, probably because I had a mental breakdown for my last one. But this is the second part of the horses to Splatoon characters. And this is actually might be one of my most diverse yet. I lost what I was going to say, so let's just get on with it, I guess. So I went with Nightmare Moon first because she's the first villain we hear of in My Little Pony at all. If you'll notice, that's not the actual person singing the song in the background music. That's my voice. I am very sorry if it's terrible. Just in case. But yeah, I just changed Celestia and Luna's designs to be more in line with what they would look like in the past, but also based on the Bishojo dolls that I used for them last time. I added this cool detail where I gave Luna the Octo Shades, the Hypno Shades, to explain where Nightmare Moon came from, and just because obviously this sort of magic doesn't exist in the Splatooniverse. I know I'm not funny, but yeah, I figured that was a good tidbit of lore to add to this universe, and I'm slowly building with every single drawing unintentionally. They were both very entertaining to draw, by the way. I made it very clear that Luna is technically the older sister. Technically. I don't know why, she just gives me neglected older sister vibes. And Celestia, like, spoiled younger sister vibes. I don't know, I'm trying to distract you from my terrible from my subpar singing. I have not sang sang for a crowd since 6th grade. Please avoid bullying me. I don't want to play the entire song, and I doubt I'll post the whole song online. Mostly because I'm not a music channel. I make these songs for the channel, not for the videos, to avoid copyright. Anyway, Discord. This is our first non-inkling or octoling piece, with Discord being what I call what I found online as a sharkling. It's basically a shark inkling. Or what am I doing with my words? All these videos are unscripted because scripting them is a nightmare. It's why my redone videos take so damn long. Oh yeah, I might not post as less than I do because I have a job opportunity. I'm not going to detail any more about that though. As you can see, I was actually kind of proud with that pose for a bit, but then I realized it wasn't doing what I needed it to do. Plus, the tail wasn't working out for me. So I had to change poses multiple times, as you'll see in a bit. Mostly because, again, it just wasn't working out. So I decided to do a typical fluttercord thing. Because I have no shame. You can't stop me. You honestly cannot stop me. If you don't like it, then argue about it in the comments. It's good for the YouTube algorithm. Anyway. Sorry, that was water. But yeah, you'll basically see Fluttershy and Discord interacting. It's basically canon as of the final episode, isn't it? So technically, none of you can be mad at me. I think you'd all be even madder at me if I drew ship art for anything else. Maybe Rari Jack. I've heard horror stories about this fandom, which damn near made me want to quit this. Maybe damn near want to quit the whole thing. I didn't. Oh yeah, his clothing I inspired by his actual patches of fur and scales. which I figured was clever. Well, I think it's clever. If you don't like it, you can suck an egg. No, it's your problem, not mine. One of my favorites, but also the biggest pain in the ass, was Clean Chrysalis. Technically, she's my first sanitized Octoling. If you remember from part 1, you'll see that the CMC was sanitized, though. And that's for a reason. They were out saving someone from from Kamabo Co. That person ended up being Chrysalis. My lore is that she actually lost a child to the deep sea metro, and then she ended up sanitized. But the sanitization is just slowly eating away at her body, which is why her tentacles have holes in them. She technically can participate in turf wars, but she's kind of frail and kind of sort of full of holes, so she can't. She's also very protective of others or of characters who look like her child, like her child, basically. But yeah, I managed to successfully implement her clothing, not like her outfit. What am I saying? Her body into the outfit because, well, she doesn't have actual holes in her except for the tentacles. Sombra is an interesting one because he was one of the first that I knew my least favorite practice of all. Color-based skin picking, which I don't like. It's not always accurate. But I actually did a species from the now outdated Project Splatoon 3, which introduced the hairlings, which I'm pretty sure they're based on sea bunnies. I don't remember. But I made him smoke to reference the whole shadow thing. There's not too much to comment on Sombra, except for the fact that Paladin Crystal Empire is surprisingly a pain in the ass to look for because it has like 3 different names. What is up with that? Another new one was Tyrek, who I made a half salmonid, half other weird creature thing. I made him like a somewhere in between like the whole weakling thing. Like the whole weakling and like weakling Tyrek and buff Tyrek. Like somewhere in a happy medium. Mostly because I'm not good at drawing buff people. I'm learning. But yeah, I'm just proud of that pose I drew myself. Don't get on me for using other poses. It's not cheating. Also, I was trying to reference South Park with that quote, with that text. It wasn't accurate, but I was too lazy to change it, frankly. There I am picking the skin tone based off of what it looks like in grayscale again. Again, not always accurate. These were the most fun and the most irritating designs I've done. The Dazzlings, who I made what I call Sirenlings. They look like regular Inklings or Octolings, but aren't. Their singing can tend to cause discourse. Mostly because their songs are so beautiful that they tend to convince people to do self-destructive things. Very much like how actual sirens in Greek mythos convince people to, like, hey, drive up to us, we're not gonna kill you and such. Well, I think out of the 3 of them, I think Sonata has to be my favorite. Like, in terms of personality-wise, design-wise, it's a tie between all 3 of them. It's always annoyed me how the Rainbooms won against obviously superior sounding individuals, but it's also a kids movie, so I can't really fault it there. I didn't like the song that they sang, so I replaced it with a terrible version of the Calamari Incantation. Apparently, it's difficult to remix it. I'm still learning, but still. Everyone else was easy to draw, except for what's her name? Aria Blaze. Her hair, in particular, was a pain in the ass to draw. I had to draw like one strand, and then do multiple different strands, and had to color them differently. It was a pain, honestly. I don't know what I was gonna say. Well, they were all fun to color. They all have their separate color palettes, and they had to implement it in a creative way especially for their hair, because all of their hair is multicolored. And since they're like basically inklings, but with siren tendencies, I decided to make them more inkling-esque, if that makes sense. Sorry, I don't have much to say. But I am actually very proud of these three. Very proud of them. They just give off the right energy that they do. Wish the Calamari Incantation that you're unfortunately forced to listen to, because the last song I have for the final section was not long enough where I could have that be for the next section, so you unfortunately have to listen to that terrible incarnation of the Calamari Incantation. Scenes are coming up upon it. I'm very sorry in advance. But yeah, I made their cutie marks. They're like ice symbol because they're like punk rockers, I guess. I don't know what they are. And finally, these five. All of them have either been antagonistic or mild inconveniences in the case of Flurry Heart. But also, people don't like Flurry Heart, so I guess it's appropriate that I also put her here. You'll see in a minute that another new species will enter the ring with a lionfish, as you'll see in a minute, as Diamond Tiara. I'm sorry for the Calamari Incantation. I wish I knew what I was doing. If I were to ever recreate it, redo it, I would not have taken the vocals only, and then the instrumental, and messed around with it. But I spent so much time overthinking it that I just had to take the easy way out, because it was literally giving me an aneurysm. As you can see, I'm sketching out the line art. Again, the lionfish elements on Diamond Tiara are more obvious. The outfits are largely based on how they appear in Equestria Girls, as you'll see during the coloring phase. Sorry. There's a couple Inktoelings. Not any. 3 Inktoelings. An Inkling and a lionfish. I wish I could give you a better song in the background for this part. I promise the final song is coming up in a minute now. Rip your ears. Don't worry, I made it like 10% loud. It sounded good when I first made it, I swear. Well, these are on the coloring stages, and you can see everything coming together. Sorry. It's like 8:25 p.m. where I am. Oh, there it is. Thank you for sitting through that if you haven't clicked off already. But yeah, you can see that there was at least some inspiration on the Equestria Girls outfits for two of the characters. For three of the characters, two of them were improvised or taken from some form of fan art, which I know is cheating. I know it's cheating. It works. I'm not planning on selling these at least either. I just hope you like the designs in general. That's all. I just hope you like them. And that does it for the video. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, check out my Redbubble, the works. I don't really know what to put on here except for thanks for sitting through this. See ya.
Just for that, you get the button.